What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Fallout 76. As you can probably tell, Fallout is a series that is near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite game series. I've played all the Fallout games, and like many people, I had lots of questions once it was announced that Fallout would be moving online only. This weekend was QuakeCon 2018. Todd Howard was there along with Chris Mayer, development director, and Jeff Gardner, the project lead for Fallout 76. And so during this panel, they answered a lot of questions. A lot was answered about PvP, about death and dying, about character progression, about the special system, and perks. And so we're going to be taking a look at everything that was discussed. Once again, Todd Howard reiterated that there will be no human NPCs in the game. And so what this means is that there will also be no traditional quest givers. Bethesda had previously announced that quests will be given out through robots, holotapes, and terminals in the game. One of the things I really enjoy about the Fallout games is diving into the terminals and into the holotapes to figure out what exactly was going on at the moment the bombs dropped, and having the quests given out through these holotapes and terminals is more of an incentive to go through each one and figure it out. So in that aspect, I sort of enjoy this. In other ways, I'm concerned that the game will not be as interesting as previous Fallouts, because the NPCs were some of the most interesting aspects of the Fallout games. There will be an emphasis on crafting and survival, as everyone probably already guessed. And so there's a lot of systems in place. And so you'll have to look after your hunger, your sleep, your rads, and so on. Speaking of rads, there are now full mutations in the game. And so once you accumulate a certain amount of rads, you can randomly get a mutation. I'm really excited to finally have mutations in the game. This is something that was always in the Fallout lore, but not so much in the game. I hope that, there's some dramatic physical changes in characters that you can see. I think it's going to be really funny to have, a group of 4 mutated players running around together, terrorizing the other Fallout players, the pacifists. The special system will be reintroduced in Fallout 76. This time, each attribute will go up to 15 points instead of the 10 that we're used to. It was also mentioned that you'll stop receiving special points at level 50, and so this will serve as a soft cap. I anticipate that this cap will probably be raised in the future once more areas are introduced, and they introduce DLC into the game or whatever they plan to do as the game evolves. When you assign points into your special attributes, these will go into something called a point pool, and each special attribute will have their own point pool, up into 15 points where you max out your special attribute. The thing that had the community up in arms this weekend was when they talked about perks. Perks will be in the form of perk cards this time in Fallout 76. You will receive a card pack at every 2 levels up until level 10. So you'll receive one at level 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then every 5 levels thereafter, so 15, 20, 25. They didn't mention whether or not you would stop receiving the card packs at level 50, like you will the special points. And so we'll have to wait and see on that one. You can combine your cards together, and so if you get 2 of the same card, you can combine those to make a level 2 card. If you get a third one, you combine that to make a level 3 card. Those go all the way up into a max of level 5. While this appears to be the perfect way to monetize the game through microtransactions, Bethesda's Pete Hines was on Twitter saying that the only way to receive them would be through leveling up. I think the introduction of perk cards is more to introduce an endgame grind to the game. You'll be grinding out those rare cards to get the level 5 perk cards. They have the best attributes to get the best character. I also think that the perk cards allow Bethesda to add new perks into the game through DLC or free updates. The one attribute that is getting a little bit of a change this time around is Charisma. Charisma is going to be used sort of as a party attribute. So Charisma perks will grant buffs and special bonuses to the entire team. They also mentioned there will be solo perk cards. They mentioned a lone wolf or a lone wanderer. I'm not sure if they're the same card or 2 different ones, but there will be different cards for different play styles. With that being said, they said that you can switch your perk cards at any time. And so if you're playing solo with solo cards and you're grouping up all of a sudden, you can switch those cards automatically. And that way your character can switch to more of a team play style. And so I think that's something that's pretty convenient. Now, moving on to the big one, the PvP. A lot of people are concerned with PvP and the nukes, obviously. They're concerned that players will be able to nuke your base and destroy it, and it's going to be a big disaster, and you'll never get your base built up the same way again. That is not the case. Apparently, you can blueprint your house or your base. That way, it'll be easier to move it to a new location. It'll be easier to rebuild it should it be destroyed. They also mentioned that it will be easy to repair your base. You can also move your base to a different location in the map. I really like this because in Fallout 4, I built up a really nice base early on in the game, only to find a better location later on, and had to make numerous trips back and forth across the map to carry all of my stuff from my old base to my new base. So being able to just pick everything up and move it will be a very nice quality of life improvement as far as I am concerned. And now, as far as players killing players, a lot of people were concerned that, what are you going to lose when you die? What's going to happen when you die? There is no traditional save game function in this game as it is online only. And so the way PvP is going to work is one player shoots at another player, and that doesn't engage in full damage or a full battle until the other player returns fire. Up until the other player returns fire, they described it as slapping you with a bullet. It does less damage, half damage, reduced damage, whatever it is. And then once the other player engages as well, then full damage ensues and the battle is on. If the player that is being fired upon does not want to engage in PvP, and the player murders that player anyway, they will be labeled as a murderer. Once a player is labeled as a murderer, they will appear on the map for everybody on that server to see. There will be a big red star. You can fast travel close to their destination, not directly on them apparently, but close to it. Once a player is a murderer, they will have a bounty placed on their head, and their caps will come out of their own cap supply. I also hope that they will lose some experience in this. A lot of people were comparing this to the Wanted system in GTA. To me, it sounds a lot more like the Rogue system in the Division, in which you could murder other players, but at that time everyone would know your location, that you were a rogue. There was also a timer, so they didn't mention whether or not there was a way to reduce your bounty or get rid of your bounty, if there was a timer or somewhere you had to go and pay caps, whatever it is, to get rid of that murder status. And so that's another question that we have. When a player dies, what they lose is a portion of their caps, and they also drop their junk. What the junk is the resources that a player accumulates through looting. It will be used to craft weapons, armor, build your bases, repair your houses, and whatever it is that you're doing at that point. That is the loop of the game, apparently, is to get junk, get more rare junk, come back to the base, stash it. They said there would be stashes located across the map. They didn't say whether or not those stashes will be connected, but I assume that they will be. If somebody continues to murder somebody over and over again, you can block a player, and that way you won't appear on their map or anything like that. You can also throw up a pacifist flag, and that way people will know that you don't want to engage in PvP. I hope that they introduce PvP servers and PvE servers. That way, people that want to play PvP can go on a PvP server, and that way, people that want to play PvE only and not deal with any of the PvP stuff can go on their own servers. I also hope that there's a way that you're shooting at somebody. I also hope that if you're shooting at somebody, they can't just throw a pacifist flag or block you automatically and disengage from combat. I hope there's a range limit or a time limit to this. Sure, there will be. That wasn't mentioned, but we'll have to wait and see. Todd Howard said that there will be more music in this game than any other Fallout series. He said there will be radio stations. He said there will be classical music. He said there will be a lot of weird music from the 40s, and so I'm really looking forward to that. This is one of my favorite aspects of the Fallout games is the music. I think their marketing is awesome with the choices of songs that they use. I have the West Virginia song stuck in my head right now, and I think I have since the E3 trailer, and I probably will until October when I finally get to play the beta. And so PvP only starts at level 5, and so it gives new players a little bit of a break until you get the handle of the game. That way, more veteran players can't vault 76 and just murder the new guys coming out of the vault. So fast travel will be included in the game as well. If you die, you can fast travel back to the nearest location or to Vault 76 for free. Farther locations can also be fast travel to that you have unlocked, but for a cap cost based on the distance away. Todd Howard mentioned that he's trying to figure out how to implement mods into the games. I think this is an area where Bethesda is really trying to monetize the game. This is why I wouldn't worry too much about the perk cards. Bethesda's been trying to monetize mods for a while now, and if there's a way to do it, it will be in this game because it is online only, so those mods will have to be on their servers, I assume. There is the possibility of private servers, of course, which Todd Howard talked about, but I'm not real well versed in modding, so I can't really speak on that too much. Alright, and there you have it coming out of QuakeCon 2018. I think we got a lot of Fallout 76 questions answered. I'm really looking forward to this game. I already got my beta code for October, so I'll be streaming that. There still are a few more questions that remain to be answered. I hope the game doesn't end up being too easy. I know Todd Howard already said that this isn't a hardcore survival game, but I hope there are some survival elements to it. I played a lot of Escape from Tarkov lately, and that element of fear of always losing everything really adds to the game. This is exploring the irradiated nuclear wasteland at the end of the world, after all, and I don't think that should be all that easy. Fallout has always taken more of a humorous side to the end of the world, but even so, I want to see some element of difficulty and some sort of an end game to this game. I want to see, a true long end game. This is a game I really want to put a lot of time into, and I hope that there is a long progression system to this. And I hope it's a game that I can play for a long time and always be finding new things in. Fallout 4, I put, couple hundred hours, maybe 300-400 hours into it, and I was still finding new things. And so I hope that Fallout 76 will continue on that and build to be something even bigger. I'm really looking forward to it, and I want to know your opinions as well. Is it a game you're looking forward to? Are you going to be picking it up? You can let me know in the comments below. You can come stop by my Twitch channel. I have to get over there and start streaming now. I stream there live 6 days a week. So be sure to follow me on there. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. That way you'll know when I upload a new video or when I'm going live on Twitch. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you later.